What's going on, guys? It's M00 Photo. So this is gonna be a short one. I just want to talk a little bit about the whole Sony A7 IV news. Not to call it a fiasco, as it is really not a fiasco. But so am I the only one that's kind of disappointed with the specs that this camera is offering? I highly doubt that, because I know a lot of people have expressed their discontent regarding the whole camera situation. Don't get me wrong, the camera has brought up quite some major features that the Sony A7 III and even the R series have not really offered in the past, and I'm really thankful of that. However, excuse the noise, because we have jets. I'm pretty close to a military base, so hence the reason why you're hearing the jets flying all over the place. So every time you hear that, I apologize in advance. But let's carry on our conversation. So I was probably one of the very few people that really anticipated this camera. I was really looking forward to this. Why? Because I've put some money aside, and the whole 10-bit 422, that's something I was really looking forward to. And I've been waiting for a little while now. You know, I've thought about pulling the trigger for the A7S3, but I told myself, you know what? Perhaps the A7 IV will come up with somewhat the same specs as the A7S3, and I won't have to fork nearly $4,000 to pretty much, get a camera that does. Sony's really good at increasing specs by increments, like very small differences, just to say, oh, well, it's got this. And I think the A7 IV is not an exception to that. If we really look at the A7 IV compared to the A7 III picture, you don't really notice that much of a difference. I mean, I get it. We have a way higher resolution sensor, which is great. I am grateful for that. But video-wise, I don't think, other than the 10-bit 422 and should we even call it 4K 60? Okay, I guess. So, and the 4K 60, it's really the same thing, really. I mean, if you think about it. And yeah, you give us a little better autofocus, but now we're comparing a brand new camera for 2021 to a 3-year-old camera. The A7 III was my first ever camera, and then I got rid of it. I bought an A7R3 and an A9. At the time, I used to shoot a lot of sports photography and high-speed movements. Until very recently, I just realized, you know what? I don't really use the A9 as much. So I went ahead and sold it on B&H. Thanks, B&H. So they gave me store credit, and I was like, I'm not going to touch this until the A7 IV comes out. And maybe it'll be a better option than what we have on the market right now, or somewhat offer specs that will be somewhat similar to what the A7S3 is offering in the FX3. I didn't really expect it to be a very diluted version of the A7S3, I guess, because I mean, okay, Sony, don't give us the 4K 120. That's fine. But even the 4K 60 that you give us, you go ahead and I mean, I'm really hoping that maybe Sony can do a firmware update that will bring the full 4K 60, because we know the camera is way more than capable to shoot 4K 60, even 4K 120. So why would Sony go ahead and give us, and even the camera that we're trying to compare it with, which is the Canon R6, it outdoes it very easily for when it comes to the 4K 60. I mean, that's the main feature that everyone was looking forward to, because right now, if we compare the A7 IV to anything that Canon has, we'll probably have to compare it with the Canon 1DX Mark II, which shoots 4K 60. But I think, I'm not sure about this, and please quote me down there in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think the Canon 1DX Mark II shoots 4K 60 cropped. So Sony goes and gives us the 4K 60 that we've been waiting for so long, all this time, just for it to turn out to be, you know, I'm not gonna call it a fluke, because again, I am thankful. I really appreciate the features the camera is offering, but I am kind of disappointed that Sony would go ahead and give us a nearly $2,600 camera if you count taxes. I pre-ordered mine from Korea, so I didn't really pay taxes from Adorama. But imagine the people that live stateside, so you have to fork another $60 to $100, you know, on taxes. So the camera really, you know, comes to you for about $2,600. So, which I found myself in the dilemma, because I was like, well, if I was stateside, I would probably just, you know, wait a little bit, or just put the $600 extra or $900 extra and just get the A7S3. Because what am I gonna do with a cropped 4K 60? Now you're gonna have to find a lens that's like wide open enough so when it crops, you know, you don't feel the crop nearly as much. And even the 1080 120, there is nothing new there. That's the same thing we have. That's what I have on my A7R3 right now, in the A6600, which is what I'm shooting on right now. So I guess I'm just venting, because that's what we do on YouTube. We come here to express our discontent. It's a great camera, don't get me wrong. I appreciate, you know, the major upgrades, but the things that really do matter for most of us are not equipped in this camera. And I really do hope that Atomos can come up with a way for us to record raw footage with the A7 IV, because otherwise, just again, it's just gonna be an outdated camera before it's even outdated, you know. So you might as well just invest in a camera that can offer you better options. And yeah, it's a downsampled 7K image, but still, I'd rather get the 6K picture, you know, crisp, beautiful, amazing picture that Blackmagic is offering for almost $200 cheaper. So that's just something, you know, that crossed my mind, and I'm probably gonna sleep on it, and I'll let you guys know what decision I've made at the end of the day. But also, I thought about the S1H. I've never used a Panasonic before, but I did consider buying the S1H just to see how that would compare. And I know they got a great autofocus. Their picture quality is amazing. They shoot raw so you can literally get the GH5 and the GH5S and get a raw picture out of it, you know, with amazing stabilization, and perhaps the focus system is not, you know, on par with Sony, but I mean, you gotta make some sacrifices. But I'd rather, you know, get a camera that's offering me the possibilities and the picture quality, the image quality for videos, than get something that's it's kind of good at this and kind of good at that. Because yeah, the megapixel thing, I got a A7R3 that I shoot most of my photos with, and I've never had any issues with that. So to me, the 33 megapixels are not really, you know, a major upgrade to me. It's not really affecting my shooting as much. But I understand for the people that have been shooting, you know, with 24 megapixels, you know, their whole career, I understand why they would take this as a major upgrade to them. But to me, it's just a little thing, really. So please let me know what you think down there. I really appreciate your support. I love you guys, and I can't wait to hear back from you all. And do not hesitate. Let your feelings hurt down there. You know, I'm here to listen, and I'll give you my feedback and comments, you know, on what I think also. So let's start a conversation. Let's talk about it. That's the only way we can make things better in here, right? All right. Can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you very much, and until next time, it's M00 Photo.